Today at Gaming Pulse, we have 10 intense hardcore survival games that will surely test your survival skills. Number 10, we have Escape from Tarkov. This isn't just a game, it's a whole dang experience. So here's the deal. Tarkov is like a mix between a hardcore survival game and a shooter, with a bit of RPG thrown in. Very move you make has consequences, and the stakes couldn't be higher. You're going into these raids to loot, fight, and hopefully make it out alive, but let me tell you, hopefully is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. The first time I played, I got absolutely destroyed. You don't get a tutorial that holds your hand. It just says, here's a gun, good luck. The sound design alone made my heart race. You hear a twig snap, and suddenly you're second-guessing every step. Is that another player? A scav? Or are you just being paranoid? Spoiler, you're probably not being paranoid. Tarkov doesn't just test your aim, it tests your nerves. It's not a game for everyone though. Tarkov demands patience. You'll die a lot. You'll lose stuff. You'll rage quit. But when you finally get that clean extraction after a good run, man, it's like hitting a jackpot. Few games give you that kind of adrenaline rush. Scum. Scum is like the survival game that decided to go, hey, what if we made everything matter? And by everything, I mean everything. From your hydration levels, to your vitamin intake, to how much fiber you're eating. It's a survival simulator that makes other survival games look like casual camping trips. But weirdly, it works. It's addicting. And it's kind of genius. And let's talk about the survival mechanics. Dude, it tracks everything. Your protein intake, carbs, fat levels, vitamins. If you don't balance them, your performance takes a hit. It's like a fitness app got thrown into a survival game. At first, I thought, do I really need to care about this? But then I realized how much it adds to the immersion. If you eat junk, you'll feel sluggish. If you overeat, you gain weight, which actually makes you slower. It's hilarious and terrifying at the same time. Oh, and yeah, your character can poop, and pee, and vomit if you eat something bad. It's absurd, but also part of what makes Scum so unique. You laugh at it, but then you realize how much detail the devs put into this system. Like, do I really need to worry about my colon in a survival game? Apparently, yes. At number 8, we got older Stalker games, which are still pretty nice. And I would really recommend it before you play Stalker 2. Most of you have probably played it, but to those who haven't, these games, they're gritty, atmospheric, and unapologetically brutal. But that's exactly what makes them so unforgettable. They don't just tell a story. They drag you into the zone, chew you up, and spit you out with a Geiger counter in one hand and a battered AK in the other. If you're into survival games, love a good challenge, and want a world that feels alive and deadly in equal measure, STLKR is a must-play. Just remember, the zone doesn't care about you. It's there to break you. And that's exactly why you'll keep coming back. Welcome to the zone, Stalker. Good luck, you'll need it. Fallout New Vegas, that one RPG that feels like stepping into the Wild West, but post-apocalyptic style with mutants, killer robots, and shady factions vying for control of the Nevada desert. And let me tell you, this game doesn't just let you play, it makes you choose. Every decision matters, and the story bends to your will like you're some kind of post-apocalyptic puppet master. The Mojave Wasteland is incredible. It's desolate, sure, but it's packed with personality. From the glittering lights of the New Vegas Strip to the rundown shacks and creepy vaults scattered across the desert, every location has a story to tell. The game rewards exploration in a big way. You'll stumble upon hidden treasures, quirky NPCs, and lore that fleshes out the world, making it feel alive despite being, mostly dead. Okay, so the combat is a bit janky because it's running on that old Bethesda engine, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. You've got VATS, which lets you slow down time and aim at specific body parts for maximum carnage. Fallout New Vegas is a masterpiece of storytelling, choice, and immersion. It's not perfect. The bugs can be hilarious and frustrating in equal measure, but that's part of the charm. The freedom it gives you to shape the world, the razor-sharp writing, and the unforgettable world make it one of the best RPGs ever made. Next up, we got DayZ, a survival horror simulator that straight up drops you into a post-apocalyptic world with nothing but your wits, a flashlight, and the desperate hope that the next person you meet won't bash your head in for a can of beans. Survival is the name of the game. You're constantly juggling basic needs like hunger and thirst while scavenging for gear and trying not to die from disease or injury. You find a can of beans. Congrats, you've just extended your life by 5 minutes. But opening it, yeah, you're gonna need a can opener or get creative and use a sharp tool, assuming you've found one. Combat is intense and raw. The zombies are relentless, but it's the players you really have to watch out for. DayZ has no rules, and that's what makes it so nerve-wracking. You meet another survivor? You're faced with a choice. Team up and share resources, or risk getting backstabbed when you least expect it. I've had moments where I trusted someone, only for them to shoot me in the back 5 minutes later. But hey, I've also been that guy once or twice. It's the apocalypse. Ethics are optional. The crafting and survival mechanics are incredibly detailed. You can build bases, hunt wildlife, cook food, and even patch up your clothes. Every action feels like a tiny victory in a game that's actively trying to kill you at all times. DayZ isn't for everyone. It's slow-paced, punishingly difficult, and often brutally unfair. But if you're into survival games where every decision feels like it matters, and where the world feels alive with danger and opportunity, this game is unmatched. One of my favorites, it's Far Cry 3. The balance of freedom, chaos, and storytelling. Few games let you take a wingsuit ride off a cliff, land in a firefight, and end the day hunting sharks for crafting materials. It's got that perfect mix of structured missions and open-world mayhem that makes you lose track of time. And the way the story challenges you to think about violence, morality, and the allure of power, it's really good. The story is where Far Cry 3 elevates itself beyond just another shooter. Jason's journey is dark, twisted, and surprisingly emotional. The game doesn't shy away from showing the toll this violent world takes on him, and by the end, you're left questioning if the real villain was the pirates or the monster Jason becomes. And the characters? Unforgettable. Vaz steals the show, obviously, but you've also got Citra, the mysterious tribal leader, and Dennis, your somewhat questionable guide to the island. Every character adds another layer to the game's crazy, unpredictable vibe. So yeah, if you haven't played it, go fix that. Because nothing beats the moment you set a field of weed on fire with a flamethrower while Skrillex blasts in the background. Pure chaos, pure joy, pure Far Cry 3. Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is the kind of game that sucks you in and doesn't let go. The movement is incredible, the combat is visceral, and the choices give the game real depth. It's a perfect mix of heart-pounding action and meaningful storytelling. Sure, it's got some jank here and there. What open-world game doesn't? But that doesn't stop it from being an absolute blast. The infected in this game are terrifying. There's a bunch of different types, from your standard shamblers to howlers that summon hordes to volatiles, which are like nightmare fuel on steroids. And the chases? When you're spotted at night and the horde starts coming after you, it's pure panic. You're sprinting across rooftops, dodging claws, and desperately looking for a UV light to dive into. It's survival horror meets parkour, and it's absolutely thrilling and amazing. Just remember, when the sun sets, run fast and don't look back. Fallout 4 kicks off in pre-apocalypse America, where everything looks like it's been ripped from a 1950s postcard. But just as you're settling in with your family and enjoying your robot butler's banter, boom, the nukes drop. You and your family get rushed to Vault 111, where something shady happens because, of course, it's a vault, and you wake up 200 years later to find the world in ruins. The world of Fallout 4 is huge. We're talking Boston and the surrounding Commonwealth, a sprawling wasteland that somehow manages to be both bleak and beautiful. You've got ruined cities, creepy abandoned buildings, glowing radioactive swamps, and hidden underground bunkers. Every corner of this map feels like it has a story, whether it's a skeleton posed in some tragic tableau or a note that leads you on a side quest. And then there's the dynamic weather. One minute it's a sunny day, and the next a radiation storm rolls in, turning the sky green and making you scramble for shelter. It's atmospheric as hell. Fallout 4 is the kind of game that eats up your free time in the best way. It's not perfect. Some people find the dialogue options a bit limited compared to earlier games, but the sheer scale of the world, the freedom to play your way, and the endless opportunities for creativity make it a masterpiece of open-world design. Oh Man, The Forest and its sequel, Sons of the Forest, are survival horror games that don't just test your skills, they test your nerves. These games throw you into a lush, creepy wilderness where every rustle in the bushes could be a squirrel or a flesh-eating mutant. In The Forest, you're a plane crash survivor, stranded on a remote island. Sounds manageable, right? Wrong. This isn't just any island, it's crawling with mutants. And they've kidnapped your son. So now, you're juggling survival basics like food and shelter, with unraveling the mystery of the island and trying not to get eaten. Sons of the Forest ramps this up to 11. This time, you're part of a search and rescue team looking for a missing billionaire on an even bigger island. But surprise, it's also full of mutants. And these ones are smarter, meaner, and somehow even creepier. These games nail the survival vibe. You'll start out scavenging for berries, chopping down trees to build a ramshackle shelter, and fashioning a spear out of a stick and some duct tape. In Sons of the Forest, the mutants are even more terrifying. Some are horrifyingly human, others are bizarre, skinless abominations. And the AI? It's ridiculously smart. They'll scout your defenses, ambush you, and even steal your stuff. So grab your axe and your courage. You're gonna need both. Number 1, it's of course Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is really a great game, and when I say it, I absolutely mean it. It's an experience. It's intense, immersive, and emotional. Whether you're creeping through a mutant-infested tunnel or standing on a ridge watching the sunset over a ruined world, this game leaves an impression. Atmosphere is where Metro Exodus is untouchable. The sound design is phenomenal. Every creak of an abandoned building, every distant howl of a mutant, every crackle of your Geiger counter pulls you deeper into the world. The visuals are stunning, with some of the best lighting and weather effects I've ever seen in a game. The story in Metro Exodus is deeply personal. It's about survival, yes, but it's also about hope, family, and what it means to rebuild in a broken world. Your companions on the Aurora aren't just background characters. They're fully realized people with their own stories, struggles, and dreams. You'll grow attached to them, which makes the moments of loss and triumph hit even harder. The game also gives you choices, and those choices matter. Do you spare a group of bandits? Or do you wipe them out to keep your crew safe? Do you risk everything to help a stranger? Or do you stay focused on your mission? These decisions shape the story and lead to different endings. Stealth is huge in this game. Sneaking past enemies or taking them out quietly is often better than going in guns blazing, because ammo is precious. But when things do go loud, it's intense. The sound design, the chaos, the sheer desperation. Its glorious Metro Exodus keeps the hardcore survival elements that fans love. You're constantly scavenging for resources, ammo, filters for your gas mask, and parts for crafting. Every bullet counts, and the scarcity of supplies makes every decision feel like life or death. Here was my list of hardcore survival games. Did I miss a game that I should have put it into this list? Share down in the comments, let us know. Subscribe our channel if you want to help us grow. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Until then, keep gaming, keep laughing, stay pixel perfect. Gaming Pulse out.